Right, another little video, day in the life of mortar-free Mondog ownership. So, I've seen this before, but I was a bit gutted to see this on mine. This has actually come round the edge, it's not gone through. So I've cleaned it all up, washed it out with a hose pipe, scrubbed it, got some Atomac, took the liner out obviously as you can see, and treated other bits underneath the wheel arch. All in all it's not too bad, but this was a bit of a shocker. It's all bubbling up. And like I said, I thought at first it had come through the metal, but it's actually gone round the lip, so it started corroding there, and then it's gone round the lip and gone to the outside, just there as well. This seems to be wherever the fasteners go. Obviously the paint gets damaged, and over the years the water and the salt get underneath it. Same there, look. And then like I say, I just took the liner out while I was there to treat the other areas, which aren't that bad to be fair. But this is the sort of thing you got to do if you want to keep these things going. I see time and time again on the groups people having to get rid of these things, scrap them because they got major holes, chassis rails, stuff like that, major parts of the structure of the car underneath. But I know this is not that, but this is the sort of mindset you've got to have to keep these things going. You know, the slightest little bit of brown staining you see, you've got to follow it up, you've got to stamp it out, because they're at that age now. If you don't, they're just going to rot away, and before you know it, you're going to have rot in some fairly major parts of the car, and that'll be the end. Alright, I'll bring you back when I've painted it. It's alright, don't she? Nice and shiny. And then, if you look underneath, not so shiny. So, not pretty, I know, but the important thing for me is the rust has kept at bay. All over really, but all these edges on the inside of the wheel arch go in, and yeah, I'm just trying to keep it under control really. So I've not done the full rust treatment on this. I've just done the Hydrate 80, it was a bit like Cure Rust, just keeps the rust at bay, cleaned it up as much as I could. But a couple of other little bits here. I don't know if you can see, but the subframe is looking a bit ropey these days. I'm not too bothered about interchangeable parts. It's the actual shell of the car, the shell and the bodywork of the car that I'm concerned about, underside, because obviously that's not replaceable. That subframe is looking particularly ropey, where the wishbone arms bolt into. Don't know if I can quite show you there really, just down in there. I've had some big flakes of rock come out of there, so I just know that that's going thin. But it'll do for now. I'm going to try and source a new subframe for this, I think. get it all prepped up, cleaned up, rust treated, with a view to fit it to this one day. But the shell of this thing ain't too bad at the moment, but it is suffering a few war wounds on the bodywork these days. I need to put lacquer on that yet, but even so, once I have put lacquer, it's still going to look crap. But like I say, as long as the rust is taken care of, I'm not too bothered at the moment. But yeah, it's what you got to do. Right, so clips and fasteners all soaked in wax oil. Right, so wheel liner's back on. All the fasteners and fixings have been treated as well, believe it or not. Or metal ones, that is. Got stainless steel ones on the mud flaps. Yeah. Let's hope that doesn't start corroding anytime soon. Hopefully. Right, so this is what I'm on about. It looks mint from above. Well, not mint, but pretty good. But just get underneath. Have a look under here. Now that seam there, I've treated that umpteen times, and it just keeps coming back. Admittedly, it's just with the Hydrate 80 or Q-Rust, the containment system, but I get under this thing probably at least once a year, every year. That bracket's been replaced there. That's the bracket for the trailing arm. But I don't know if I can show you. That's a chassis rail there, which on this one ain't too bad, to be fair. It's pretty good. But it's at the sides. I don't know if I can show you. There's a bit of rot there on that edge there. I don't know if you can see it. And up by the side of the fuel tank, I find it's one of the worst places. All up there, look, there's a seam up there, spot welded to the floor. Chassis rail spot welded to the floor. This isn't too bad. It's nothing alarming, but I'm just saying this is the places you need to look. So this is my DERV. It's on 200,000 miles, so it's got to be expected. But on the whole, it's not too bad under here. But yeah, that's where you want to be looking. All like there, around these chassis rail areas. Because if it goes there, if you get any major rot there, you've had it really. That's the end of the line. The old Mondog. Right, so like I said, this isn't too bad for 200,000 miles. To be fair, the subframe's a little bit ropey, but I've had that out before. Treated that. Most important thing, as far as I'm concerned, is these chassis rails there. I don't usually go at the back. It's usually around this area from where I've got the axle stand, funny enough, but I can assure you it's solid there, otherwise I wouldn't have it jacked up there. But as you can see, I've got a little bit of surface corrosion there, look. So that's on the inner sill, I think. So I'm going to treat that as well, just nip that in the bud before it gets any worse. Just a containment system. Like I was saying earlier, up here it's difficult to show, but fuel lines as well, they're murder for going. Fuel lines on this thing are looking ropey. I might have to do that before long. There, that. Put all up there. It's difficult to show. I don't know if it's coming out on camera, but there you go. You can see where I've treated it before in the past, but like I say, really, I've only used the containment system again, Hydrate 80 or Cure Rust, a combination of two. I find that Hydrate 80 works better, to be honest, than the Cure Rust. Again, there's a lot about preparation. You've got to clean the area up, make sure there's no oil and grease. That's one thing I failed to mention on previous videos. Oil and grease is a big one. That Hydrate 80 or Cure Rust, it won't take properly if there's oil and grease anywhere, so you need to get rid of that as much as you can. I don't know if you can see there, fuel pipes are looking a bit shit, to be honest. And like I say, you can just about see a little bit of brown staining coming back there, so that needs looking at again in the spring. Other than that, I think that's about the worst of it. Ideally, the tank needs to be dropped, but that means usually getting the subframe out as well. So exhaust, subframe, there's struts. Let's have a look at there. It's not looking too bad. I had all the rear liners out last spring, I think it was. So it's not looking too bad. I'm taking these brackets off, these brake hose brackets. They're a load of shit. But besides that, crash bars rots as fuck as well, but I'm not worried about that. Any parts that I can take off the car I'm not worried about. Is, like I say, the main structure of the vehicle underneath. That's what you've got to keep an eye on, these chassis rails. There, all along there, and where I've got the axle stand as well. That edge isn't too bad. A little bit of surface rust in there, but, and obviously the sills as well. The sills are another favourite. Go for a pastime, but again, this one's looking pretty good, to be honest. Like I said, I got a little bit there which I'm going to treat right now. I'll give it a good quick clean up. You get some Hydrate 80 on there, and that should do me then until the spring. But these sills are pretty good all the way along. Not bad at all. It's an 07 plate this, but like I say, it's done 200,000 miles. I usually get underneath it at least once or twice a year, just to keep an eye on things, treat anything I think might need looking at. And that's what you got to do. Not sexy, shitty job, but it's got to be done if you want to keep it. That is. If you don't want to keep it, scrap it and let me buy all your parts. Stuff on the front wheel arch, I didn't see that last winter. See, these straps need replacing, these straps are gone. I got two new straps for the 220, but what I'm going to do is clean the ones up on the 220 and put them on this thing, I think. Drop the tank. When I drop the tank, I'm going to get out there, clean all that out there. And hopefully this thing will be good for a few more years. Not too bad. She ain't too bad. Ooh, what's that? There we go, there's another bit. That's on the side of the chassis rail. I'll have to sort that out. I don't know if you can see it from there. You see that? Yeah. Not too bad. I have been there before, but I'm going to have to do it again. Yeah, this is the worst bit round the back, which is why I was surprised to see that on the front. Yeah, like I said, all the sills on this thing are pretty good, even at the back, that area there. So the front of the back wheel arch, where the sill meets the arch, that's where they go. Another common area. But again, this one's pretty good. There's a bit of dirt and mud and shit on it, but besides that, it's alright. Leafs even. But, you know, that's a big thing. It's making sure all the waterways, the drain holes are clear and all the rest of it every year. So when that salt water does get into your arches and seals and all the rest of it, at least it can drain away, you know. If it's all blocked up and it just stays there, that's a recipe for disaster. Yeah, he's alright this end, he's not too bad. It was a good car this. I've had this over 10 years now. Like I say, I've got 200,000 on the clock. So it's not bad at all. It's done me proud, to be honest, which is why I don't mind looking after it. I don't mind spending a bit of money on it, keeping it up together. A problem area, again not too bad on this one. I have done it before. Just a little bit of bubbling here. Is it on this side or the other side? That side. I think both sides. On that side as well. Starting to go again there, look. But it's not gone through. Last time I looked, you can say I had the wheel liner out. So you can see it there, look, on that lip underneath. That needs doing again. But that turret, that suspension turret's looking alright actually. It's not looking too bad, he says. A little bit there, look. Lots of things. Yeah. Not too bad there. Looks a bit suspect. Just there, look. That's what I'm on about, the brown staining. You see that? It's not bad there at the moment. This is what I'm on about. It looks sound. You look at it like that. Right, just finished. All the dodgy areas. Now, time for a beer. Oh yes. Oh yes. Peace out.